you can see heart-stopping jumps like that starting next Friday in Palatka, including meeting a veteran who jumped into the war arena during World War II. The group sponsoring this event is called the Round Canopy Parachuting Team USA, and their goal is to increase awareness about the heroism of paratroopers starting in World War II and onwards. The team is inviting the public to Palatka for a 3-day event starting next Friday. Joining us to talk more about it is Jim Connell, retired Lieutenant Colonel and Operations Manager, and Frank Cashman, who is a recruiter, Chief Warrant Officer, U.S. Army retired. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
So I saw you in your outfits today, and I was a little stunned because I didn't realize that when you do these demonstrations, you dressed in period piece. Could you describe the outfit you're wearing?
Yes, ma'am. It's a M1942 or M42 uniform that the paratroopers would have worn on D-Day, and it was changed so that they could carry more gear. It has additional straps, additional pockets, and then some of the paratroopers actually took additional pockets and sewed them onto their sleeves so that they could carry more gear when they jumped.
Why is it so important to continue this legacy and to showcase the paratroopers from this era?
We try to celebrate them because there's fewer and fewer every day. We're losing them at a great number. We will have one of the few remaining ones with us, Vince Speranza, this next weekend, and just to keep their memory alive for the enormous task that they undertook. We've lost several of the folks that have jumped with us in the last year. Tom Rice, Jim Pee Wee Martin,
Dan McBride.
Yeah.
So these are all veterans who have participated in
jumped into on D-Day that are no longer with us. So the numbers are getting smaller every day.
I want to ask you about Vince Speranza, and I know we've got video of him. He is a World War II veteran paratrooper. Did he jump into D-Day, or do you know exactly where he jumped into?
No, ma'am. He actually did not jump. He was one of the replacements. And if you
here he is right here.
Yes, if you see the band of brothers, you'll see that the replacements were kind of shunned because they didn't jump into Normandy and they hadn't earned their stripes, so to speak, yet, until they did something that, they were finally accepted.
But he is going to talk about his experiences.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you come next weekend, you will be able to hear him relay these experiences.
Yes, ma'am. Vince was in Bastogne when they were encircled by the Germans and went through that. And he has a heck of a story about that. So.
Jim, I want to ask you, because you have parachuted into Normandy before through one of these demonstrations on the 75th anniversary.
Right, for the 75th anniversary.
I've been to Normandy, and if you've ever been, it is truly an amazing, touching place, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I was amazed at the way the entire the population over there celebrates that day. French people dressed up in these uniforms, just celebrating the United States and what they did. It was amazing. When I stepped out of that plane over the drop zone and checked my parachute and then looked down, all I saw was just masses of people everywhere. I had no idea it was going to be that big an event.
That had to be just heart-stopping. What was it like for the veterans that you took with you who had been there?
Well, Tom Rice had jumped in out of the plane with Art Schaefer from Skydive Palatka, and I think he was 99 or 95 at the time. And yeah, it's amazing to think that these veterans are still jumping. It's amazing to think that the plane we'll be jumping out of next weekend, the static line that's in that plane that we hook up to, is the same one that those veterans hooked up to.
Okay, so I get the whole wearing the costume piece and the boots and everything, but the static line is
the original?
The original?
Yes.
The original. So what I tell people is that when you hook into that line, you're hooking into history. It's the same static line that the World War II veterans hooked into almost 79 years ago.
What compels you guys to do this? Because this is a little bit risk-taking. You recognize that, right?
Both of us are former military, and what I tell people as the recruiter is it's the good part of the military that you miss. That's one of our missions, is to bring guys back into the fold and let them be around other people of like mind and the camaraderie that you have by being in the military, and especially a paratrooper.
And you're always looking for people who want to join the group. And if you you can go as a spectator too. It's going on next weekend in Palatka. Let's give you some details of that. It's open jump operations. It's March 24th. It's going to be at the K. Larkin Field in Skydive Palatka. And what hours are you all going to be out there over the weekend?
We'll start off at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Jump operations will probably start around 9. The C-47 comes in late Thursday afternoon. So if they want to see us jump from the C-47, it'll be late Thursday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, we salute the service that you provided back then and continue to provide now. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. What a neat, not a story, just what a neat service you're providing the country, keeping this history alive. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.